Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. So today is day 26th of January, and we are still consistent towards our action. So in this video, I'm going to talk about finance part, okay? And this is our second video, which is mainly focusing towards investment options. In the first video, I explained about the difference between old tax regime and new tax regime. I personally applied for the old tax regime, and whatever the investment that I had shown, I decided to make that video on this. So I'm not a financial advisor, anything like that. I'm just learning this thing and implementing. So just thought to share it with you. I'm going to share few of the links with you as well. That is something going to helpful for more details. Okay, so let's begin with our second video of the investment options for old tax regime. Okay, so yeah, so before moving with the actual section, let's understand this. This is not something going to help you practically, but it's better to have a little knowledge about it. So section 80 covers Income Tax Act, that is 1961 in the year. It allows taxpayer to avail of the tax exemptions and lower their taxable income. So in the section 80, there are lots of sections. So let's understand each section step by step. The first section is about section 80C. There are various subsections under 80C. It's like 80CCC, 80CCD1, 80CCD1B, and 80CCD2. I'm going to cover only two, that is ATC and ATCCD, because I invested into that thing so that I'll be more confident to share that part with you. For the other things, the link that I'm going to share, you can go with more details. So in the ATC, there are multiple options that you can show related to investment. The first one is about PPF, that is Public Provident Fund. In EPF, Employee Provident Fund, if I'm not wrong. The third one is LIC Premium. Fourth one is Equity Linked Savings Scheme, that is ELSS. Then comes to principal amount payment towards home loan, then stamp duty and registration charges for the purchase of property, then Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, then National Savings Certificate NSE, Senior Citizen Savings Scheme, then ULIP, tax saving FD for 5 years, infrastructure bonds, etc. So many options. So out of these options, I uh, I had shown my investment, or even I invested in PPF, that is Public Provident Fund. Most important thing, it has a lock-in period of 15 years. So for the next 15 years, you can't remove your amount. You can remove it at certain exemptions, but it's very less. Okay. So PPF I shown, EPF I didn't show that part. LIC premium no, but you can get that details as well. Talking about equity linked savings scheme, this is really interesting, but I got to know this thing very late. So just thought to start investing after some days. So ELSS, it has a lock-in period of 3 years, but overall returns and everything is really good. So you can try this option, and that is something going to help you. Now I'll jump to the 80CCD1B, which allows you the deduction for National Pension Scheme. So what is National Pension Scheme? It is something which is helpful to secure your old age, that is after 60, 65 that we consider. I started this thing. I started investing into NPS with very less amount because it has a lock-in very big period like 40, 30 years you can consider. So yeah, 80CCD, NPS I invested, PPF as well. And now let's move on to the note, which is really important, that for the section ATC, you can show the deduction of rupees 1.5 lakh except the additional 50K for section 80CCD. So it's like 2 lakh you can consider. Okay. So yeah, maximum 2 lakh you can show into the section 80C. And let's move on to the other sections. So section 80E, that is interest on education loan. I had taken the education loan for my higher education. So I even shown this part as well. So what it takes, it's like interest on education loan deduction for higher studies only. Okay. So like the main universities, there are certain universities that usually cover into this education loan deduction. You will get to know about this part in detail. The information is available everywhere, but yeah, I implemented, or even I applied for this particular section, that is education loan. And there are certain conditions that you just need to look, like it is available for maximum of 8 years, like beginning the year in which the interest starts getting repaid, or till the entire interest is paid. Basically, there is no restrictions on the amount that can be claimed. Okay, so this is about 80E. Now let's talk about section 80EE, that is interest on home loan. I haven't shown this thing, even invested into that thing, but just thought to share it with you all because few of my colleague has had shown. So if you had taken home loan and if you are paying the interest, then you can show that all the details and you will get some exemptions on it. I practically not invested into that, so I'm not going to talk much detail. But obviously, the link that I'm going to share it will help you all. Now let's move on to another section, that is section 80D, which mainly tells about insurance, not education, medical insurance. So in medical insurance, there are three cases that I'm going to explain. Okay. So the first one is like case one, let's understand. Like basically these three cases indicates how much deduction that you can show for the ATD. In the first case, like if you like the employee and is below 60 years and your parents are below 60 years, then how much amount that you can show. So if you had taken for your personal medical insurance, then you can apply for 25,000. Okay, deduction you will get, like for yourself, your wife or husband, whatever, and dependent children, so they will get 25,000, or even you can apply for 25,000. So deduction for the parents is 25,000, and maximum deduction, like overall deduction, you will get 50,000 for the case one. Now let's move on to the case two. Like if, like you, considering me that I'm an employee which is below 60 years and my parent is above 60 years, then for me or like all the dependent and spouse, everything, it's 25,000. For my parents is 50,000 if they are above 60 years, and the overall amount is 75,000. Now let's move on to the case 3, which talks about if my age is 60 years, which is obviously not, and parents is above 60, then I can claim up to 1 lakh. You might be confused whatever the things I explained, but if you pause this video and just saw this particular table, it is pretty clear for you that was exactly I'm trying to say. Section 80D I applied for my parents. Like my parents, they are below 60, and so I like I can show my investment or reduction for 25,000. For me, I haven't taken basically medical insurance. You might call me fool, but yeah, there are some things through which I'm going. I'll take some time, but I'll definitely start my own medical insurance as well. Like instead of start, I'll invest into the medical insurance for me. Yeah, but for my parents, I did this thing. Okay. Now let's move on to the one of the important section, that is HRA, house rent allowance. I didn't find in detail, or even the details that I found, they are little confusing. What I got to know that the most important thing is about you you have to show the HRA below 1 lakh. That is very useful if you are staying at your home and paying the rent, whatever the things, or even you are showing that rent part. Because if you are showing HRA above 1 lakh, then you have to show the proof of like the tax, or like the rent for which you are paying, you have to submit the PAN card of that particular person. So if you are not paying but still you are claiming, then it is something that will cause you, I think. So be careful into that. Let's understand what exactly the points that I cover. It's like calculation of the house rent allowance is as per the following consideration, and here we consider the least part. The first one is actual HRA is received by the employee. Okay, the first condition. Second is 50% or 40% of the basic salary, depending upon metro or non-metro location respectively. Fourth one is rent is paid minus 10% of the basic salary. Okay, so quite difficult to understand. Let's understand with an example. Understand with an example. Okay, consider Jason. I copied this example as it is because I found this really useful. I'm going to share the link of that particular website. So all the like whatever the things that I'm going to share for this particular example, credit goes to that particular link or the person who had written. Really well explained. So consider Jason is earning an income of rupees 3 lakh annually. So it is 3 lakh. He pays a rent of rupees 5,000 per month. So for 12 months, it is 60,000, that is annual. In such case, the deduction will be as follows. Okay, so now understand. So he's paying 5,000 actually, and 60,000, which is for 12 months. Now the rent paid, this is a calculation that I explained, that is the rent paid minus 10% of the basic salary. So the rent paid, it is 60,000 that Jason is paying, minus 10% of the like adjusted income, which is 30,000, like 3 lakhs, 10%, 30,000. So 60,000 minus 30,000, the amount is 70,000. And now let's consider third consideration, which I explained. It's like 25% of the total annual income, which is rupees 75,000. So out of these three conditions, that is the first one is 60,000, second is 30,000, and the third is 75,000. Whichever will be the lowest, that will be considered. So here 30,000 is considered. If you found little like this part is little confusing, you can pause this video. You can read this thing. It will be more easier for you to understand. Okay. So there are many more sections into specific like investment parts that you can show, but I shown only these things, so thought to share what are the things that I had shown so that I'll be confident. As I mentioned that I'm going to share the links with you, that is something going to help you, but these things you can show. I invested that things, I claimed that things. Now let's see in the March what will happen. I'll share that part as well. Now let's move on to our last part, that is consistent actions. This is something new that I observed and decided to try, related to fitness, reading, and finance. I believe that these are the important things, and most of the time we lack this thing. Like we are not consistent for that thing. So, if you are someone who wanted to be consistent, just subscribe to this channel. I will share all that things that is going to help you, and you will never regret. And again, it's the happiest moment for me. I got my first subscriber. Thank you so much for believing in me. I don't know who is he, but yeah, thank you so much for subscribing. And yeah, subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Last but not least, it's 26th of January. Happy Republic Day to everyone. And please take care. Let's meet in our next video. Thank you so much.